Second half begins, and we know the challenges that we face. Everybody asked before we started, what's it going to be like playing Vegas and New Mexico right out of the gate? And that's what we have this time. And we go to Vegas, hasn't lost a game at home, appreciably greater offensively at home. So we'll have our hands full. They're coming off a loss. We're one game ahead of them, and on and on and on. So it's a big game for both teams. I know we'll be ready, and I'm sure that they will be ready also. So our challenge is to be able to go in and not allow them to play in an open gym and run up and down the floor and dunk and shoot in threes, which they've done against everybody, especially at home. They're very, very good, immensely talented at every spot, and it'll be a huge crowd. So this is what everybody wants to play in, though, these kinds of games, this type of an environment, and this is what we're going to have on Saturday. So we look forward to it, and we are ready to go. Any questions for me?
Do you notice them a little fresher, or is that an overrated thing having those days off?
I think you have to make sure as a player you take care of yourself, how you manage yourself off the court, eat right, get enough rest. It's a long season, so we as coaches have to make sure that we don't have practices that take away from our ability to be ready to play. Everybody goes through periods where they feel like they got tired legs. So a couple of our guys have said that they felt like their bodies were in need of a bit of a break. So probably, not unlike Vegas and other schools, we all had this week off, and TCU played a midweek game, but everybody had the ability to get a little extra rest and not have to worry about preparing for a Wednesday game. So you know what we did. We took Sunday, which is a normal day off, and Monday off. And our practices have not been as long. I heard LeBradford make a comment about mental reps. So we talk about when you're not doing, learn by watching. Pick a guy out and watch what he does, whether it's offense or defense, and improve by doing that. And we've tried to really emphasize doing just enough to make sure we knew form and technique we wanted, but not have to go over and over and over and over again, everything. I think that's like everybody.
How would you characterize the first two practices, Tuesday and yesterday?
They've been good. We worked on defending sets and looks. We talked about what we're going to have to do, and obviously we have to have the ability to put a body on a guy and rebound the ball. They had 19 offensive rebounds against us in the first game. We did a good job of taking care of the ball. We did not have an excessive number of live ball turnovers that led to runouts, and we have to make sure that happens on Saturday.
Has the rest helped Xavier's knee at all, and stuff like that? You said the minutes were taking a toll on him.
I'm sorry?
Has the rest helped Xavier James's knee at all?
I think the rest helped everybody. You know, X, as we all know, hurt his knee, tweaked it again in one game, and I think the rest has been good for him, but not just him.
Dual question here. First, is your deal with Memphis, is that confirmed that that's going to happen, the home-and-home series? And secondly, when you look at Memphis, are they sort of a benchmark for what this program can become based on how they were able to rise up a few years ago and get to national status and national recognition?
We've talked with a variety of schools that are in the Big East. With Memphis joining the Big East, dialogue has gone on from both Big East office and Memphis about who they could play. We would be a logical fit. So the very, very preliminary discussions on who we might play that would have current or future affiliation with the Big East, but nothing with anybody yet that's been set.
What about that second piece, though? Is that sort of something that this organization can look at as, look what Memphis was able to do
hadn't really thought of that. I know when Calipari was there, they got to the national championship game. They've got a good program. So we feel we have a good program. Obviously, we've never been to the Final Four. So that's something everybody aspires to. Go ahead.
All right. We were talking about before that physical play. So, the referees, they hold the whistle when they play UNLV. Does that concern you when you hear stuff like that? Because you're saying that you want the referees to blow that whistle when they see something, no matter whose side it's on, or
I'm not exactly sure what say that again.
Yes. When we talked to the players before, they talked about how playing UNLV is going to be more physical. There's almost nothing you can do to escape how physical a game like that can be, especially in Thomas and Mack. Is that something that when you hear that as a coach, do you get concerned that your players are going to be put in a perilous situation, or is that just a matter of life for you?
We've played Vegas close game after close game after close game. Every game, home or away, has been very aggressive by both teams. So you need officials to be what they've been in most of our games this year, consistent with the whistle, let you know early what's a foul, what's not a foul, and then you have to adapt and adjust to the way the whistle has been blown. It's not much different going there than it is going to the pit or someplace else. But obviously the magnitude of this game right now for both teams is big. It's high level.
Coach, as you go into the second half of the league, and you've said this many times, teams, know you and you know them, and you've done very well in the first half. How do you balance attacking a team the same way you did the first time versus, well, we know they're going to adjust, so we need to make some adjustments. And specifically with UNLV, obviously, you let them shoot a little bit more from the perimeter, and that worked to your advantage. And how much of that do you still want to do, and how much do you want to make adjustments?
What we do is probably what a lot of teams do. We sit as a staff and say, okay, Mark or Dutch, you're coaching Vegas. What are you going to do different against us? This is Mark's lead scout, but we all take part of it. So we talk about if we were them, what would we do to attack us differently, both offensively and defensively. And then we go back and say, okay, what worked for us? How will they try to take it away? What can we do to continue to run what we did? So you play little mind games with yourself, maybe sometimes too many. And then you say, what are they doing right now? What are they doing against the teams they're playing right now that's different? And do we think they'll do that against us or try to do that against us? And then you look at a team like Vegas that is so good at home. Not that they're not good on the road, but they almost seem invincible at home. And so now what are you going to do to try to take a little bit of that swagger away from them if you can do anything? So those are some things that you talk about. But, yeah, we do. We say, okay, what do we do? What will they do? And let's think ahead. Let's be prepared. And we talk with our kids about that. We show them things that we scored on. We showed them things that we stopped them on. We showed the flip of that, what they did well. Okay, now how can we change to make sure we don't let that happen? But basically it comes down to you got to be able to guard. You got to be able to keep them out of the paint. You can't give them run-outs. You can't give them offensive rebounds.